Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Faris Danuarta. In this video, I will repeat the vacation story from a video called Preposition of Place in, on, at, common grammar mistakes. Hey guys, welcome to Lima Marina. As you might have noticed, I just came back from my vacation. So I feel really energized, ready to create more content for you, ready to share what I know about English with you and share how English is improving my life every single day. Because remember, English is your instrument that helps you achieve your goals. English is not your end goals. It is something that empowers you to see the world, to explore the world, and to bring your expertise to people from different places across the world. And by the way, when I was traveling, I went to Guatemala, I went to Honduras, I went to Panama, I went to Mexico, and I went to Belize. And everywhere I came, I got DMs from you guys saying, "Oh, Marina, you in my country." And this is the most exciting thing. And every time I get a DM like that, I thank my English language for that because my English is actually helping me with connect with you guys. If you're watching from one of those countries, let me know in the comments down below. I fell in love with every single countries. I really like Panama just because I didn't expect it to be so. Like wow, all the high rise is so. It was really beautiful. I've already mentioned some countries where I've been to. I've been to Honduras, and you may be wondering why I didn't say it, why I didn't say it.
So today we're going to talk about those propositions I'm going to share from rules that people use to determine which proposition to use. So if you're ready, let's start. Let's do it. Today we're going to talk about the most common propositions at, in, and on. So let's do a quick quiz. He lives 13 Long Street and you have to select either in, on, or at. I'm visiting my grandma on and at a hospital. I like traveling to in at a train. Now you're gonna get the right answer at the end of this video, but make sure you write your answer down so you can check yourself later. Now let's talk about some rules. The first rule is when we use at. At is used with a very exact place, think small building like something that is small. Your word always use at. At the door, at the hospital, at school, at the university, at the table, at the door. So something specific will always be at, but when you're thinking about big things like I don't know, Panama or Guatemala or Saint Petersburg or London, you would never say it because it only applies to smaller things in London, Panama, Guatemala. Thus hug geographical location so you can be at London. You're in London. You're in London. Yeah, but I'm at the desk. I'm at home. I'm at my studio. I'm at the bus. At this university. At the door. That's cool. We use on with street and avenues. I live on Park Avenue or North Avenue. I live on Green Street. So on and always with the street, but please remember there are always exceptions. Like if you're talking about university and you're talking about campus, you say I live on campus. On campus is this location where you have your dorms, you have your class, you have your restaurants, cafeterias. So on campus would be an expectation, but normally on is only used with street. Now when we're talking about the street, There is another thing to remember. When we have a number, then we use I live at 13 Green Street or 45 Distance Street. But when we don't have a number, like I'm asking you where are you right now, and you're answering I'm Market Street, you don't give me a number, and then use on Green Street, so at is used when we give the full address street number. On is when we just mention these terms, and when we talk about something bigger than the street, we use the proportions in. So for example, you have different parts of town. We are having lunch in Chinatown, or we are having lunch in Nook Hill. This is like a district. Here is San Francisco with cities. As I already mentioned, I live in London, I live in New York, you live in New York, we have been in New York, we have been in New York for 2 weeks. We are in Los Altos Hills with status. I live in California with parts of countries. My friends spend vacation in the south of India with countries. I used to live in Russia with continents. My sister is in Africa. I love being in Africa. So to some things of we use at with specific location, on with less specific location, like street, and in with bigger location, like cities, town, countries, part of countries.
Now, let's move a little further with our preposition. I gave you some basic rules, but now we're gonna explore more examples. In is also used when we're talking about an enclosed space, something that has a roof, something as walls like in a car, in a bus, in a building. I'm waiting for you in my car. Can you please help me find a pen in this box? Don't put your wallet in a pocket. Now, listen carefully right now. We're moving to on and we use on with a bus. On a bus. And you make us Marina. But why in a car but on a bus? Wait a minute, I'm gonna explain. The other word that we use on with are words that represent surface. Like this table is a surface on a table. Your floor is a surface on the floor. Wall behind me is also a surface on the wall. We also use on when we talk about left and right. On the left, on the right. Oh, vice versa depending on whatever you see. I think it's on left where you're on the right for you. Next, we're along the side of a river. For example, Cambridge is on the river Cam. Now, interesting part why in a car but on a bus. And it's used with means of transportation where you can't stand up. Oh my god. English, you're so complicated. You can't stand up in the car. So you say in a car. You can't stand up in a helicopter. But you can stand up on an airplane. So on an airplane. In a helicopter, on a bus, in a car, in a taxi, because you can stand off in a taxi. I know guys, this is why I recommend having something like a grammar book. So you can refer to things or at least have a script of this video in front of your eyes. On a ship, on a boat, on a plane, on a train. We use on with a means of transport where we can stand up. We can stand up on a plane. We can stand up on a bus. We can stand up on a boat. So also maybe another hand we use on with means of transportation.
Sometimes you hear in a hospital and sometimes you hear at a hospital. Both of those are grammatically correct, but guess what? They have a different meaning. So when you're saying I'm in a hospital, that means you are a patient. You are actually receiving treatment. I don't remember the incident, I just remember waking up in hospital. My uncle is in the hospital right now, receiving treatment for his. I don't know Agna, I don't know if you go to the hospital for that, but he broke a leg, he is in hospital, let's do that. I'm giving birth in hospital, but you can also say, I'm at the hospital. But that would mean that you're just doing something there, that you are not a patient. I'm visiting my uncle at the hospital, because you are at the hospital, not as a patient receiving treatment. You are a guest visiting your uncle. In college, my brother volunteered at a local hospital. Again, he wasn't a patient. This is why we use at the hospital. The same goes for school, museum, library, or any other institution, and we also use at with events. I'm at this Lady Gaga concert. Okay guys, I hope it wasn't super confusing for you again. If you want to, make sure you remember all the preposition, make sure to follow the link below and download the free chapter of the grammar book. And if you feel like you are willing to invest in your education, just a little sum of money using 66 personnel of the grammar book will be even cheaper for you because you are watching this video. And now, let's check your test. I guess you already know everything, but let's do it anyways. He lived at 13 Long Street because we give the full address, we give the number and the street address. I'm visiting my grandma at the hospital. Why? Because I'm not a patient. She is a patient. My grandma is in the hospital receiving treatment, and I'm visiting her at the hospital because I am not a patient. I love traveling on a train. You can also say I love traveling by train, but this is another topic for another video. Here because we remember that we can stand up on the train. We use on. I like to travel on a train. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The links are below, and then if you are not yet subscribed this channel, please hit subscribe. And if your friends are learning English, please share this video with them because I think it's super useful. I'm very humble. Thank you guys so much and see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye.